to the Last of Us Season 1, Episode 2 review. Again, no spoilers, just my quick thoughts on the episode. Another good episode, not as strong as Episode 1, but definitely a good, strong episode. The show is just is showing its strengths in its writing, its acting, set design, monster design. Everything is working great. There's a few niggles I have about certain directions, certain characters look like they're going to go in, and the direction about one character. Again, no spoilers, so slight tweak to the way the game has gone, but it's okay for them to be a little bit different from the game, as long as they don't deviate too far from it, because the game story is, I say again, last episode, the game story is so good that there is no need to really deviate too far from it. It's the same. Neil Druckmann's the same person involved, so in both the game and the series. So hopefully, they don't go too far off, but a little deviation here and there, for creative licensing. Obviously, it's a different format, a game compared to a TV series. So that's one of the good things I liked about this episode. Again, you get a bit more pre-infection story, pre-infection characters that weren't in there in the game. The game always felt a little bit like there was no one else had any history or life other than Joel, because obviously he's the main character, so he's the one you play through. No one else seemed to really have, even though they talk about it, you never see it. So seeing the horror of the infection starting and people, how it changed people, was exciting. It's good to see. Hopefully, again, we see a bit more of that. Seeing the past, this gives a little bit more emphasis, or gives the horror a little bit more punch. In the game, it's easy to forget that the monsters were once human, whereas in the show, it's really kind of hammering that point home, that these creatures were in fact once human. So they had a story, and obviously that story came to a tragic end. So I'm really enjoying that. And other things it looks fantastic, absolutely. Set design, the background, computer animation, computer graphics, whatever, are spot on. It looks exactly like the game looks. And the game, even though the graphics of the game original game are not great, it's an old game, it got remastered and redone. So it looked, tight and polished, but this looks just as I would imagined the game would look in real life. The city, so and overgrown with the fauna and flowers, everything, like it's nature taking back the world that man built, which is kind of the whole point of it. That as powerful and as progressed as we're nothing compared to nature. Nature will destroy us and claim back what we've built, in no time at all. So that's good. Some of the negative points, or some of the bad things that look like they're going to wind me up a little bit, is Ellie just seems needlessly antagonistic to Joel at this point, and I know they're trying to build this. You're trying to build this like tension between them, so that eventually it can pay off. I don't really understand. I don't really get it at the moment. Why it seems forced. I know she's a teenager, right? So teenagers are arsey, but like it feels forced. It feels like it's not what would happen in that situation. So someone's literally just saved your life, and you start quipping with them, giving them grief. This was getting my notes here. Some of the moments that I like about this. I said in the last episode, I don't particularly like jump scares. Jump scares don't do it for me, but the suspense building, tension scares are like that pay off well, are really good, and they do that again here. There's a particular scene which is ripped straight from the game, And I remember playing that, and the suspense and the tension that's built, which pays off when you finally see the thing for the first time. Um, it's great, and in here again they do it super well. Like it's they can see the fear in the main characters' faces, and then as they know what's coming, and then we as the audience who haven't quite seen it yet finally get to see it. It's great. I say that's a really good thing they've done, but then they instantly go into a bit too much action. They jump straight from that tension building right into an action scene where they're fighting and scrambling, and it gets a bit too actiony. There's a bit too, maybe a bit too much, cowboys sort of action. But having said that, then they flip right back into something that I really did enjoy. And you actually see, like, real life. Joel has to reload his gun, and he has to do it super quietly so that he doesn't get caught. And just seeing that again, that real life stakes. Like, if you don't have infinite ammo, like even in the game, you don't have infinite ammo. It's real, like real world stuff. You shoot 5-6 times. He's got a revolver. He shoots 5-6 times. He has to reload. And they show that. I enjoyed that. I liked that bit. Yeah. They do. No, again, I'm not going to spoil anything, but they do a weird thing at the end, which I thought was really bizarre. I didn't think it added anything at all. The creatures act in a way that is very against the way they should act. And yeah, that kind of took me out of at the end. The sort of the climactic scene of the episode is supposed to hit home hard, and there's a bit in it that really took me out of it into a point of I almost laughed. It was kind of ludicrous. I laughed. And anyone who's seen the episode will probably know what I'm talking about. But I just found that bit, to the borderline of ludicrous. After being so kind of faithful to realism obviously being stretched thin based on its show about zombies essentially and creatures, but they've kept that sort of realism up until that point, and then right at the end they tripped at the final hurdle and face planted. So I'm hoping that they recover in episode 3, because if that is the way it's going to go, it got me a little worried for episode 3 and beyond, but we shall see. So final thoughts are, I'd say, not as good as episode 1. A lot shorter than episode 1, but that's fine because episode 1 was essentially kind of 2 episodes. A lot shorter, but still, it was well written, brilliantly acted. I'd say I don't recall some of the characters acting the way they do here the same way they do in the game, but again, I'm going to forgive that for now because it's a different medium. So at the moment it doesn't feel like Ellie and Joel have a very strong connection, whereas I believe at this point in the game they were getting quite close. But the creatures looked and sounded fantastic. Again, the creature makeup is spot on. Like, it is spot on. And if only the creature didn't act slightly bizarrely, near the end, it would have been a 10 out of 10 episode. But the little niggles I have with the characters, motivation, or not motivation, characters, the way they act, and the stupid scene at the end, has brought it down to an 8. So it's 8 out of 10 for me, this episode. Whereas, I don't know if I said it last week. The last episode 1 was a 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10 every day of the week. This one's an 8 out of 10. Still a very good score, very high. If it continued on like this and all episodes were 8 out of 10s, that's a fantastic series. There's going to be ups and downs. I'm hoping that this is a down and next week is going to be an up, back up to an up, a 9 or 10, but we'll see. So if you felt I got anything wrong, or if you agreed with what I said, comment below, let me know your thoughts, and I will be back for episode 3. So, till then. Okay, so I just want to do a quick spoiler section here. So again, spoilers, whatever. Spoilers are coming. The bit I was alluding to in the first part of the video was there's a bit at the end where one of the infected creatures basically kisses Tess and transfers the spores into her mouth. I was like, what the hell? What is going on? That was mental. I almost laughed. I didn't understand. I mean, she had just been bitten, so I didn't know if it was the creature somehow sensed that she was bitten and wanted to kiss her. Like, that's how he was going to transfer more virus into her, or if it just the creature was like, hey, that's another creature chick. She's pretty hot. Not had any action for a while. Just been lying on the floor. You're going to get me a piece of that. It was just, it was meant. I can't describe it. It's that to me took me way out of the game, and I don't know if I'm well off on this. If I'm the only one who thinks that was crazy, because that just took me well out of it. I thought that is super bizarre. I've never seen anything like that. I know what they were going for. It was kind of like an Aliens vibe where, you know, the creature crawls into your mouth and it's really horrifying. But it was, I don't know if it was meant to be horrifying or if it was just meant to be silly. I don't know what's worse. If it was meant to be horrifying, it just looked silly, or if they were trying to be silly, it just looked stupid. It was just, yeah. And Ellie right now. I want to punch Ellie. I want Joel to punch Ellie. I want Joel to leave her behind. She's just super annoying. Every time Joel does something, she has a snarky comment, and like, he literally saves her life. At the end of the last episode, he's literally saved her life because these security guards found out she's infected, and he's killed him. And she's still giving him lip. Joel's rightly got questions, and she's giving him loads of attitude, even though he's pointing a gun at her. This feels forced. This feels like that would not be her reaction to him. I can understand him, like his reaction, Joel's reaction to her finding out she's infected, but not showing symptoms or anything. So yeah, I wanted to add a quick little spoiler bit at the end because I had to say that piece. That hopefully this is a one and done for this sort of stupid zombie kissing infection. What is it? What are the? Is it mono? Is that what it is? Mono mushrooms? But other than that, it was a really good episode. That was just the most ludicrous thing I've ever seen. So I had to say something.